Well, in Chinese style, when you say hello to someone, you always ask them in Chinese, have you eaten or not? Because it's so critical. In the Chinese culture, you have a dish per person plus rice and soup. And I remember every Sunday, my grandmother or grandfather would cook so many dishes. It would just be a wonderful time. So the house would smell great all day long, and everybody would be eating and just enjoying. We all would gather on Sundays, and everybody would make so many dishes. There would be chicken, and there would be the round tree blocks that they would use as a cutting board, and you could hear that chopping. There would always be a soup simmering all day long, and this type of beef, some kind of beef would be simmering in some kind of broth usually, or a simple stir fry. The dish I'm making today is Ngau, which is beef shin or beef shank, and it's simmered for 2 or 3 hours in aromatics, and it's very Chinese. We serve it and cut it as an appetizer. You'll see that in Chinese, we love that cartilage in that cut of meat. And it's so tender once you simmer it for a long time. I'm gonna make Ngau for you. That is braised beef shin. And it's Chinese style. We use lots of aromatics and simmer it for hours till it's so tender that you'll just wanna eat it over rice or noodles. I took off the silver skin of the shin meat, and now I'm gonna brown it all over. First, I heat up a pot and I put in some oil. And then when it's hot, and this is pretty hot, I will brown the shin meat on all sides. I was just taught by my mom or my grandfather that this is what you do. You brown the whole thing, and then you start adding all the seasonings and the broth. So I'm gonna add in the ginger, garlic, the citrus peel, the Chinese block sugar, but you can use brown sugar. You don't have that. Shaoxing wine, black vinegar, soy sauce, and Chinese love white pepper instead of black pepper. I'm going to add in dried mushrooms later, but hydrating them in water. But I'll use the liquid that I use to rehydrate the mushrooms into the simmering broth. I'm going to add in water to cover the beef, and then I'll cover it and simmer it for 2 to 3 hours. Now that the Ngau has been simmering for an hour, I'm going to add in the black mushrooms. That's also called shiitake mushrooms. I'm going to cut them thinly and remove the stems, because you never eat the stems of shiitake mushrooms. These mushrooms are going to add such a great flavor. So we're going to put them in and continue simmering about an hour and a half or 2 hours more until the beef is tender. I can smell it's almost ready. It looks, oh, great. Let's see. So you pour it, oh, it looks like it's tender enough, and so let's cut it. Here, oh, it's falling apart here. See how tender? Ooh, there we go. And this is beef shin cooked in the Chinese style. Oh, this looks delicious to me. So this is how we would serve it in the typical Chinese style. They slice it very thin and serve it hot or cold. But you see how it has that cartilage? And for us Chinese, that's delicious. And it's been simmering in that broth, so it's gonna taste just like the citrus peel and ginger. I like to make this dish ahead of time because you can serve it at room temperature or cold, and then you can relax the day you're serving it. I like to garnish it with cilantro, also called Chinese parsley, and oranges, because I think the orange picks up that orange peel that I used in the sauce for the shin meat. This is Ngau Nam, my Chinese style simmered shin meat, perfect for simmer Sundays. I'm gonna taste it now. Good.